let's go. I'm at Steel Society all by myself, like super early in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. So practically, I've just been doing a lot of massaging lately. So I know that, in the next 4 weeks, I need to really hone down what is the amount of fatigue that I need to have on my hands. So the goal today is just to keep pulling with hook grip all the way up until I can't. Hopefully I could hit like my top set. And if not, then we'll strap up. And then every week I'll try to hit something not as heavy, kind of heavy, and kind of just slowly work towards the meet and just kind of, bide how much time, how many days I need to really work through my hands. But just off bat, like even right now, my hips are freaking super stiff. So I know like once I start adding plates to the bar, I really need to go back and hit my hips a lot. All right? Now, all of the work that I needed to do to be able to pull this weight, whether it's 650 or 700. Now, there's like a lot of factors that you need to do right. Hip mobility has to be good, rest has to be good. Did you eat? Are you hydrated? Where's your hip mobility? Is your stance that you're choosing today appropriate for your current hip mobility? Is your prepping, the nerves leading up to the weight, like correct? Because I think a lot of the times, like people will have like a positively written out program, but you have to remember that like as a human being, like our life is not like perfect, unless you're like a college student where you can kind of follow things to a T. There's a good chance that there's going to be a lot of variations to your sleep, stress level, fatigue level, injury level that I think a lot of people don't really consider. So I guess it's just really good for, honestly, people to master themselves, I often remind people that, once you get past like a certain stage in powerlifting, you kind of don't really need like a coach to be on you all the time. But then once you get past that, you almost kind of need a coach on you all the time, So it's like at the beginning of your journey and at the end of your journey, you kind of need eyes and like a really, really good coach, a really good regimen, kind of like a system. Lifting weights, like to me, is just something I do on the side so I don't put holes in my walls, So like I guess if you're trying to become the strongest lifter in the world, that's fine, but becoming the strongest lifter in the world is just like a side product of my trauma, The more trauma I have, the more I bang it into the weights, and the more I feel better about myself as I go home. It's just gonna keep building weights, So at the end of the day, I can really care less if I become the strongest or not. And if I do become the strongest, it's just gonna be a side product of me training and I guess you can say like my trauma. All right, I already feel like 1,000 times better just from all that hip mobility stuff. Even my hook grip already feels more solid. So we're gonna start adding weights, and guess what? We're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again. Alrighty, let's keep going up. Keep. My wrist turning over. So like sometimes like when you deadlift, right? A lot of people like to get the hand deep into their hands like this. So right when the weight comes off the floor, their hand has to shift. And when their hand shifts, sometimes they have to do funky stuff at the top. So what I like to do is, this is where my hands are locked. This is the angle that my hand needs to be at. So then I keep it there like this, okay? So check it out. Keeping my wrist angle at that spot. Nothing, okay? This is what I mean by wrist turning over. Okay? Don't wrist turn over. All right, 485 didn't feel the best, but I did do like a 50 key jump. So I guess when I did the 3 reps to 4 reps, it felt kind of heavy. So we're gonna do a slightly smaller jump. If it feels the same, then everything's gonna be all right. But if it feels super heavy, again, then that just means today's just not the day, you know?